From the Subrimala judgment to the verdict on same-sex marriages, how do we balance the social and cultural sensitivity of India while dealing with such cases?
There appears to be an assumption in the question that there is something common across each of those issues. Every issue is different. But perhaps what is common is the assumption in each of those issues that an individual's ego and arrogance must prevail over an institution. When someone says, I don't care for the practices of an institution, I don't care for the faith system and the sentiments associated with the institution, which have been followed for generations and millennia, and my individual right must prevail over that, it's a textbook example of the point I was making 15 minutes ago. Coming to the question of same-sex marriage, I've said this very clearly. The concept of a Tritiya Prakriti is something that Hindu civilization and Hindu thought has always recognized. And it has asked itself a few hard questions. I need to do justice to somebody's right to exist and to exist with dignity. And I also need to ensure that the institution which is meant for continuity of civilization, namely the family, remains unaffected. So how do I strike a balance between both? It's easy to ask a question which requires you to take a binary position. It's much more difficult to actually take a position which is more balanced. I genuinely believe that balance can be struck between both these positions and both these expectations, provided this conversations happen, or this conversation happens in the heart of the society and not before 5 people who represent a particular institution with absolutely no societal inputs. So my fundamental position before the court, which was the position before the proceedings began and after, has always been, I think the question of dignity and the question of respect is a non-negotiable. But from there, where does it go, is a question for the parliament to ask because it represents the will of the people. You cannot expect an unelected body, and you should not allow an unelected body to answer these questions, because that would be in violation of the constitution, and it also takes away the fundamental right of the society to participate in the discussion. When 5 people take the decision without any input from the society, you have to ask yourself the larger question, what does it do to the concept of democracy on such an important societal, familial, and let's say civilizational question? Unfortunately, mainstream media doesn't have patience for these nuances, so every position is typically painted in a 0 or 1 fashion, which it is never. Next.